Huge conspiracy theory about beloved Hollywood actor Jim Carrey right now because people are saying he's acting and looking very different. Did the Illuminati finally get their loudest whistleblower and clone him, thus silencing him? This is like two conspiracy theories in one, so here's everything you need to know.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower.
So yesterday, 64-year-old Jim Carrey received a César Award in Paris, which is like a French Oscar. And he was just suspiciously acting out of character for the iconic Jim Carrey personality. And longtime fans also noticed he looked younger or very different. And for a lot of actors in Hollywood, that's the norm. He's 64, I support people getting work done. But a lot of conspiracy theorists who are really just diehard fans say normally Jim Carrey would never do this. His whole brand is drastically changing his facial expressions and melding his face into whatever he needs to do for his role. It's just the last person you would ever expect to do that. But what's really freaking people out and driving home the conspiracy theory is that his eyes are a completely different color now. They are green, but they used to be very obviously brown. Is it him? Is someone new under the mask? And Jim Carrey is infamous for his whole career long time, giving very powerful speeches against government corruption, against capitalism, against—
Searched my whole life on what the entity was before I got there, you know. My intention was to get in there and kick up some dust and try to become a whistleblower that they don't knock off. Because, you know, they get all the—
Something strange is going on with Jim Carrey. The legendary actor recently appeared in Paris looking very different, and the internet noticed right away. As soon as footage from the event started spreading online, social media exploded with reactions. At first, people thought the conversation would be about the major honor he received that night. But instead, the focus quickly shifted to something completely different. Everyone kept asking the same wild question: what actually happened to Jim Carrey?
Oh, it's a wonderful feeling. I really took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French.
So they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Some viewers began throwing out all kinds of theories. A few people online even started claiming the man at the event didn't look like the Jim they remembered at all. In fact, some went as far as suggesting it might be a clone. And with Katt Williams recently speaking out about supposed Hollywood secrets, certain fans started connecting the dots and saying this moment proves something bigger could be happening behind the scenes.
And what nationality are you?
Sicilian and Puerto Rican.
Okay. Sicilian and Puerto Rican. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that now.
Those are my
up.
two genomes.
Okay. So who's the Puerto Rican one? Who's the Sicilian one?
When I was cloned, they wiped a lot of memory, but when I stole the documents before escaping, I read that the mother was Puerto Rican and I guess the father, the surrogate, you could say, was the sperm donor was the Sicilian.
Okay, so you were a test tube baby.
Yeah.
What's that?
Shout out Clonaid.
Yeah. Well, you know, you could actually, as soon as you die, they could actually freeze your body.
Well, what happened with my first gen is they took the skull, because he initially had written in a will to the Raelian movement that if something were to happen to him, they can ship the skull over immediately to Clonaid. So they can remove a fragment of bone that's located here. And in this fragment of bone, it stores all of your memories and consciousness. And with that, they can make a sufficient replica of yourself, a reproductive version of you, including your memories. And you can be selective as to which ones you keep or don't keep. This process has been around for quite some time. Like Dolly the sheep was cloned back in, I think, the late 70s, early 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Dolly the sheep, yeah, I remember that. And they've cloned a lot of animals over the years.
Yeah, Clonaid, I don't want to say too much information. This is going to be broadcast on the internet.
But I don't think they could transfer the actual memories, though.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're living proof of this?
Yeah, I'm living proof. Except for all the memories. A lot of them I don't have because of drugs and alcohol as a teenager. So it's kind of like burning an MP3 CD, right? So let's say, we don't do this, people don't do this anymore, but back in the day, you would bootleg a CD, you would need the original copy. You put it in, it reads the disc, transfers all the files. You have the same exact CD, it's the same thing. All the tracks, everything, every bar, every hit from every note, everything's gonna be on there. Now, if I scratch that CD, I may not be able to read all the files on the disc, making it impossible to transfer and make a new one.
Jim had arrived at the 51st César Awards to receive an honorary award celebrating his lifetime achievements in film, which is a huge deal in the industry. The crowd in Paris welcomed him warmly, and he even surprised everyone by delivering part of his speech in French, which got plenty of applause inside the venue. But online, people barely talked about the award or the speech. Instead, the conversation focused completely on him. Viewers were studying the way he looked, the way he spoke, and even the way he carried himself on the red carpet. Clips from the event quickly started spreading everywhere. Fans began comparing those videos with older interviews and appearances from years ago. Some pointed to his eyes, claiming they looked more blue than brown now. Others said his expressions and movements felt different, insisting he just didn't seem like the same Jim Carrey they had known for decades.
Jim Carrey was devastated last September when his 30-year-old girlfriend killed herself. Now, 10 months after the funeral for makeup artist Katrina White, the just-released autopsy report details her final days. She left a suicide note for Carrey. They had broken up the week before. I've spent 3 days now in disbelief that you're not here. I can go on brokenhearted and try to put the pieces back. I could, I just don't have the will this time.
She had not been seen in 4 days at that point. The last person she'd spoken to, it's believed, is Jim Carrey.
Chris Spargo is a reporter with thedailymail.com, which obtained the autopsy report.
Jim Carrey texted her the night before, saying that he was actually missing a bunch of pills from his medicine cabinet, asking if she had them, but there was no response.
The toxicology report says she had multiple drugs in her system, including pain medication prescribed to an Arthur King, who is believed to be an alias used by Carrey, according to published reports.
She had obtained 3 bottles of pills from someone under an alias. It's believed it was possibly Jim Carrey.
Carrey last spoke to Katrina White via FaceTime for 3 minutes. Her body was found 4 days later in her rented home in Los Angeles. In her note, Katrina left the funeral arrangements up to Carrey.
We know they called Jim Carrey first when they found her body after finding her cell phone, before they even called her family. So he obviously was incredibly torn up about this, but he really was there in the aftermath.
She ended her note to Carrey saying, "Please forgive me. I am just not for this world." She signed it, Dewdrop, the pet name given to her by Jim Carrey.
People online started picking apart every tiny detail. They said his jawline looked different, his teeth didn't look the same, and even his voice sounded softer and slower than usual. The comment section quickly turned into a storm of theories. One person wrote, "There's no way in hell that was Jim Carrey." Another said, "That man was super cryptic and dark." And someone else posted, "They're testing us one last time if they can get away with it." From there, the theories only got wilder. Some people began claiming the real Jim stepped away from Hollywood years ago.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh. I like it.
It's the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things and, you know, and you know, look at them.
Around 2017, others argued he started speaking too openly about how fake the entertainment industry can be, and that made people uncomfortable. And to be fair, Jim has publicly criticized Hollywood before. He has also made comments questioning powerful institutions and the way the system works, which only added more fuel to the speculation online. A lot of fans also remembered that famous red carpet interview where he stunned a reporter by saying, "None of this is real."
Is it true you're wandering the streets? Do you need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, you know, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're
I
celebrating.
mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, you know, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. What do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry, you're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut it down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't
that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
During that moment, he calmly explained that he doesn't believe in personalities and even said, "We don't matter." That clip went viral years ago and still gets shared today. At the time, his words sounded incredibly deep and philosophical, almost like he had pulled back the curtain on something bigger. Back then, though, most people just said he was being spiritual and reflective about life. Others argued that Jim had simply seen the darker side of fame. Over the years, many fans believed he stepped back because the spotlight started feeling fake and exhausting. But now, fast forward to Paris, and people say the version of Jim they saw looked completely different in attitude. At the event, he appeared relaxed, smiling, cracking jokes, and playing along with the crowd like everything was totally normal.
World Autism Awareness Day. You both must be encouraged by all that's happened in this subject since you literally started it.
Yeah, you know, we've come a long way within the community. When I first had Evan diagnosed with autism, there wasn't much of anything. I had to find out about biomedical treatment on the internet after I typed in autism on Google. And out 3 years later now, there's 3 books and many thousands of children getting better because of biomedical treatment.
Jenny brought so much focus to this problem. And kind of that's why I'm here, is I want to bring as much focus as we can to this problem.
You married autism. Or, well, you're not married, so you live with autism.
When I invited Jenny into my life, I invited Evan into my life. And when I first met Evan, he was like he was on another planet. I wasn't in the room. There was no eye contact, there was no response to dialogue, there was no affection. And over time, I witnessed Jenny pull Evan through the window of unconsciousness and isolation into our world, where he is now a fully functioning person who can communicate, who can connect, and this is through biomedical treatments, GFCF diet, and the therapies that she's talking about. So I believe that autism, in my heart, is preventable
and treatable.
Fully functional. He's
completely recovered, Larry, completely recovered. And he's not the only one. There are thousands in this community that are getting better.
Why did you go so public? I mean, you had an autistic child. He got better. So why are you here?
I could have, you know, hid and not said anything, and Evan would have blended into society. I made a pact with God, though. The day Evan became diagnosed with autism, I said, if you show me the way, God, and show me how to heal my boy, I will continue to teach the world how I did it. And within 1 year of that kind of conversation with God, Evan was undiagnosed from autism.
But it's still shocking to see how many people are ignoring this information.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, I begged and have sat down with and said, why are you not sitting down with our doctors and our scientists who are treating and recovering children with autism? And they refuse to this day to sit down.
I think if there was any possibility that a child was being helped, that someone would listen, someone would take a look. And the fact is, they're not even considering the information. They're not only not considering,
That sudden shift raised even more questions online. Some fans started asking, did something suddenly change? Could Jim really have flipped his deep convictions overnight? Critics online said it didn't feel natural to them. A few even insisted it didn't look like the same personality they remembered. That's when the conversation started drifting into some really wild territory. Some people compared the situation to other celebrity clone theories that have floated around the internet for years. One example they brought up was Kid Buu, who once claimed there was a secret cloning facility somewhere in the United States and even said he himself was a clone who escaped. That story alone fueled even more speculation in the comment sections. Of course, there are also much simpler explanations. People change over time. Jim is older now, and with age, faces shift. Voices can sound different, and lighting can easily make someone's eyes look like a different color. And yes, celebrities sometimes get cosmetic work done. That's nothing new in Hollywood. But even with those reasonable explanations, the speculation hasn't slowed down. Supporters of the so-called clone theory say the biggest clue isn't his face at all. It's his energy. They say the old Jim was wild, loud, and unpredictable. The man from The Mask and The Truman Show had a unique spark in his eyes that fans still remember. Because of that, some people online have pushed a darker theory. They claim the real Jim might have been pushed out of the spotlight long ago after speaking too openly about powerful people behind the scenes. Some even bring up the tragic passing of Jim's former girlfriend years ago, suggesting it sent a chilling message. However, there has never been any confirmed evidence connecting that tragedy to those claims. Over the years, rumors started spreading that Jim had faced pressure behind the scenes. Some people claimed he was threatened, others said he was given a choice, and a few insisted something serious happened away from the cameras. None of those claims were ever confirmed, but the stories kept circulating online. Then there's one of Jim's most talked about moments ever. The clip where he grabbed attention by joking about secret symbols and sticking out his tongue while mocking how the media works. In that moment, he also joked about talk show hosts distracting the public and even mentioned mysterious meetings in the woods. The way he said it was strange because it sounded half serious and half sarcastic at the same time. That moment confused a lot of viewers. Was he joking, or was he hinting at something deeper? Now that clip is being shared all over the internet again. Fans say Jim Carrey has always walked a thin line between comedy and truth. He delivers things in a funny way, but sometimes people feel like there's a deeper message hidden underneath the jokes. That's part of what has always made him so interesting to watch. Over the years, Jim's personality has clearly evolved. The loud, wild comedian from Dumb and Dumber slowly became quieter and more reflective. He started speaking about topics like ego, identity, and illusion, which surprised a lot of fans. Still, critics often point back to one controversial moment from years ago when Jim and Jenny McCarthy publicly questioned certain vaccine schedules on television, which sparked a major debate at the time. That moment brought massive backlash almost instantly. Headlines exploded, critics jumped in, and heated debates started spreading everywhere. The pressure around the situation became intense very quickly. After that controversy, Jim seemed to step back from talking about those kinds of issues. He focused more on art, painting, and philosophical conversations about life. But some fans believe there was more to the story. A few people online even claim he was pushed into silence. And interestingly enough, another comedian who often speaks boldly about the entertainment industry is Katt Williams. Over the years, he has also made comments suggesting that powerful people in Hollywood don't like being questioned. Meanwhile, late-night shows keep diving deeper into political comedy. Hosts joke about politicians. Politicians fire back with their own comments, and audiences cheer for whichever side they support. It often turns into a loud back and forth that keeps viewers entertained night after night. That's where some people online start connecting their own theories. They believe comedians like Jim and Katt weren't targeting just one show or one celebrity. Instead, they think the criticism was about the entire system of distraction and entertainment. The idea behind that theory is simple. While people argue, laugh, and stay emotionally invested in public drama, bigger decisions and powerful institutions move quietly in the background. Is that dramatic? Maybe. But discussions about media influence and narrative shaping have existed for a long time in media studies. Some people have even tried linking Jim's past comments about secret groups and warning young actors to be careful in Hollywood to later scandals involving powerful figures.
Epstein has leaked emails of people going out and doing hunts. What? Hunting for pleasure. Oh, hunting them like game. The heck? There was actually a woman that's leaking the information of what she said was a Rothschild's hunting trip, right? And specifically certain types of people too, which makes it even more disturbing. This is to Epstein, going to mean Lana's party now to hunt. Why would you be going to a party to hunt? Snipe hunt is over, moon cricket in a field bag. And then the bottom is so messed up. Look, guess what? Their words.
No.
Yeah. That's what they're saying in the email. There's speculation they would take a whole bunch of throw them into like a forest on a deserted area enclosed where they can't escape, and they would hunt them like game. And what's even more crazy is what if this was the first step before consumption?
It makes sense.
There's no exact proof yet where these locations were.
Okay.
And I don't think necessarily was the island.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thrilling hunt from Ariane de Rothschild. Amazing old male. Amazing hunt.
What the?
She's talking about.
However, those claims remain speculation, and there is no confirmed evidence supporting those connections. Looking at everything happening lately, some people say the timing feels a little suspicious. One recent development that caught attention is that the state of New Mexico has officially reopened a criminal inquiry connected to Zorro Ranch, the massive property once owned by Jeffrey Epstein.
By what used to be Zorro Ranch, Jeffrey Epstein's massive property in New Mexico. And as of now, no one's really investigated exactly what happened here. Zorro Ranch is in Stanley, New Mexico, about 30 miles southeast of Santa Fe, essentially in the middle of nowhere. Epstein owned the property from the early 1990s up until 2023, and some people have accused him and others of wrongdoing at the ranch. Zorro Ranch is mentioned multiple times in the Epstein files, including an account by late survivor Virginia Giuffre.
Many of the survivors had experiences in New Mexico, and as we've learned, there were local politicians and other people that were aware of what was happening in New Mexico. So it's really important that at this point in time, a closer look is taken with respect to that property.
New Mexico State Representatives Andrea Romero and Mariana Anaya put forth a resolution to set up a truth commission on Zorro Ranch. And on Monday, the New Mexico House passed that measure. The bipartisan group will investigate allegations of abuse and trafficking at Zorro Ranch. Epstein died in what was ruled a suicide in a New York jail in 2019 while facing federal charges. When I asked lawmakers why there had never been an investigation into Zorro Ranch before, their big answer was, we don't know.
He was a known sort of gallivanter, ladies' man around town. They called his ranch the Playboy Ranch of Santa Fe. We know very little, if nothing, about, and certainly not a lot that the news has reported on, and what has been reported on is nothing short of alarming. And so for any sense of justice to be had, we have to tell the truth. We have to tell the story.
This isn't just internet rumors or random online speculation. The state attorney general publicly confirmed that investigators are taking another look at what may have happened there. Over the years, many allegations have surrounded that property, with claims that serious crimes may have taken place there. Investigators are now reviewing information again to determine whether new evidence could lead to further legal action. Moments like this have made some people look back at past celebrities who warned about problems inside powerful industries. It leaves some fans wondering whether certain voices were dismissed too quickly at the time. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think the Jim Carrey we saw in Paris is still the real one, or do you believe something strange is going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the next video for more stories just like this.